Good evening, everyone, and once again, welcome back to my channel. Tonight is Women Empowerment Wednesdays, and once again, I will be waiting for you guys to pick up the signal or pick up the notification, and then we'll be starting. Okay, so good evening, everyone. Sa mga online na po, thank you. Please post your comment below so that I will know who you are. Because alam niyo naman, I'm using another app, so I will not be able to see who are online. So unless otherwise you post any comment, I will not know who you are. So please say your highs and hellos, and you know the drill. If you're constantly on my page, you know that I always ask where you're watching from so that I can greet you properly. Anyway, from my side of the world, it's good evening. And to the other side of the world, it's good morning or maybe good afternoon. So please post where you're watching from and also say your highs and hellos, especially if it's your first time to watch our live stream. Okay, so the topic for tonight is, once again, it's all about Women Empowerment Wednesdays. But if you're a guy and you're watching this, don't worry, we will not be discriminating anyone. We are all inclusive here, so you can just join the conversation if you wish to ask any question, or if you have any comments or anything that you wish to say regarding the topic, which is all about reinventing yourself. Feel free to chime in and just post your comments on the comment box below this video. All right, good evening. Oh, okay. Hello, Joel from Boone. I'm not sure what NC stands for, so please, I think is it North Carolina? So it's good morning there, right? So hi to you, Joel and Mark. Hello, thank you so much for constantly supporting my page. Okay, and again, to the rest of the people who are watching, if it's your first time, please feel free to post your messages and your highs and hellos so that I will notice that you are actually watching us right now. And again, let me introduce myself, especially for those of you who's watching for the first time. I'm Irene. I'm a real estate broker in the Philippines. I'm a motivational speaker. I'm also a writer and a lot of other things in between, but let me stick to those three for branding purposes. And also, you may also visit my page. And if you haven't subscribed or if you haven't liked or followed the page yet, please feel free to do so. All right. Thank you. Thank you for the hearts. Okay, I saw that. Thank you. Thank you. Okay, so let me introduce my guest for tonight. But before the formal introduction, let me just say that this lovely lady is one of the people that I really look up to ever since we were kids. So idol ko siya matagal na. Bata pa lang kami. Okay, so we will stick to using English as our um conversation for tonight goes on. But again, we will also be using Tagalog for those non-Tagalog speakers. We will be using some Tagalog words just in case we would like to emphasize a point for our Filipino audience. But as much as possible, we will be doing it all in English so that everyone will understand. And again, this is a very safe space. So we don't judge anyone here. We don't discriminate. We don't exclude anyone. So if you wanna join the conversation, please, again, feel free to do so. Just post your comments on the comment box so that we will be able to read them and post them here. All right. So NC stands for North Carolina. Hi, good morning in your time zone. So Theonel, watching from Cagayan de Oro. Ayun, magandang gabi po sa inyong lahat dyan. And Sir Tamayo, thank you so much. Good evening. Thank you for watching. Okay, thank you for tagging, Tayanel. And of course, Sir Tayog watching from Bataan Region 3. And shout outs to FOCC Class 2020-03. Advance congratulations and advance happy graduation, which will be happening on May 11, 2021. Good evening po, Sir Tayag. Thank you so much for constantly supporting my page. Thank you, Joel. Good morning to you. Tebs, hello, hello. Thank you so much. Maray nabanggi sa mga taga-Legazpi. Okay, so let me introduce our guest speaker for tonight. She started her career as a call center travel specialist and is now a lecturer and trainer at the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences, University of Amsterdam, and her own company, Passion and Leadership. In 2009, she moved to Singapore to be with her husband and eventually became a regional manager at Booking.com, setting up international teams in Asia. In 2012, she moved to the Amsterdam headquarters of Booking.com, and finally in 2014, she successfully made a career switch to pursue her passion in people growth and transformation. So, without further ado, let us all welcome our guest speaker for tonight. She's smiling at the background. Hi, girl. Hello. Good afternoon pala sa time zone. No? Good afternoon, Ariane. How are you?
Very excited to be here. I'm just like all smiles, listening to you open, and I'm like, oh, that's how she opens. I'm just really excited to be here, and also so nice to see the participation on your page. It's very thrilling. Yes.
Thank you so much, Ayan. Okay, so let's all welcome Ariane Hoekstra. She is one of my grade school classmates, right? And then
Yes.
then high school, and then we parted ways, and now we're back together doing this thing
Yeah,
online.
I
So
know.
so I'm just so excited. I'm just so happy that you actually accepted the invitation, despite your busy schedule. Thank you so much for that, and for also for supporting my page. I know you've been watching some of the shows before, so thank you so much for your support also, in our talks and in our topics, in the past. So let's start. Would you like to tell us a little something about yourself that I haven't talked about in my introduction?
Lots. Like you, I'm also a slashy, so I do lots of things next to what I do as a trainer, lecturer, coach, facilitator, motivational speaker. I also paint. I'm currently
I know.
yeah, I'm currently also into fitness. I also did calligraphy for some time. I'm a slashy, so yeah, I mean, I do all sorts of stuff. I love learning, and once I get myself interested in something, I can get so obsessive that I just really, really need to learn it at a level that I'm finally satisfied with. Otherwise, I don't stop. That's how I am.
I know. You've always been like that. I mean, even ever since we were kids, you were like that. So I'm not even surprised that you're still like that. Okay, so we'd also like to say hi to our classmates from high school. Thank you so much for your support, you guys.
Yeah, hi
There.
Aubrey, hi Tebs.
Okay, so ayan yung mga nag-greet. Hi, good
And
evening, everyone.
and
Sorry,
and
this I
Joel is an acquaintance of mine. Hi Joel. Hi Chi. I invited some friends to also watch. So
thank you so much for watching tonight. And yan, ayan, Char, you're there. Hello.
hi.
Good evening to you guys. All right, so okay, so tell us a little background about your journey, because you know, okay, one of the things that we don't really learn in school is traveling from one place to another, right? So traveling from one part of the world, right, to another part of the world, like literally across the world. Tell us about your journey about that. I mean, what made you do that?
Well, I think first and foremost, so to go straight to the point, what made me do that was love. I mean, love moves in mysterious ways. No, I'm kidding. Um, no, but ever since, like, we were in high school, I already had the urge of going outside of my comfort zone. So I've always wanted to like see how far I can go. And that's also the reason why I went to UPLB after college. Sorry, after high school, and then yeah, the main driver really moving to Singapore was at one point when I fell in love with my now husband. I thought to myself, oh no, I don't want to be without him anymore. So in the beginning, it was not on the table to move to Singapore. Um, but eventually I said, yeah, I'm going to go to Singapore. And I went to Singapore actually without any plans whatsoever. Like, let's just see how it goes. I'm just going to apply. Um, and I learned a lot from that because I faced a lot of challenges in the process. And then and he's Dutch. So also I thought at some point, moving to the Netherlands is sort of like part of the package. And I just have to move. I just have to try it out. So yeah, so when I moved to the Netherlands, it was also because of my husband, because he's been an expat for a while now, like 7 years, and then usually 7 years is like the expat itch that you want to go back to the country where you're
Oh.
originally from. After that 7 year though, typically a lot of expats then decide to not go back anymore because parang ano, nilamon na sila ng pagiging expat. um, but then the difference was when I moved to Singapore, I barely had any experience because like literally my first 2.5 years I spent in the BPO industry. I was first travel specialist, and then I became eventually a team supervisor. So when I went to Singapore, I didn't have a lot of experience. And then, but when I moved from Singapore to the Netherlands, at least I already had, the regional team management experience, which gave me a bit more confidence. Plus the fact that when I moved to the Netherlands, I was already given a job at the headquarters of Booking.com. So it was like a promotion from a regional manager in Asia to being a regional manager of Europe, Russia, and Asia. So that's what happened.
Okay, so I'll stick to love. Love as the main reason for moving. Okay, love moves in with mysterious ways, but I was actually thinking about like love moves mountains, so you moved continent. Love moved
Yes,
continent.
indeed. Indeed. Yes, indeed. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question that I have for you is definitely it's not always about rainbows and butterflies and unicorns. So what were the challenges that you encountered when you're moving from one country to another?
So, uh, funny thing was when I moved to Singapore and moved to the Netherlands, I always moved during times of financial crisis. I don't know why. We just don't pick the right moment. So I moved to Singapore in 2009. Basically, there was just, in 2008, the financial crash in the US. And obviously, in a very globalized world, it trickles down to all parts of, the
Yeah,
globe. So it
yeah.
also had an effect on Singapore, and then the amount of jobs that were available. Also around that time, I think election was coming up. So in Singapore at that time, typically what they would do is they reduce the number of foreigners that they would accept in companies. So basically,
Mm.
the first challenge that I faced was not finding a job within the 3 months. And I'm a very impatient person. So
Aren't we all?
I was used to getting my way. I'm used to feeling in control. So the challenge was, one, the market it wasn't the right time for it, and second, my personal challenge, my attitude towards things that are not going my way. That was that. Although adjustment it wasn't so difficult in Singapore because culturally it was very close to the Philippines. I mean, the same values, values for the
Yeah.
family. Um, and then English is widely spoken, so there wasn't a lot of adjustment on that side. But in the Netherlands, That was a totally different story because when I moved here, I was very shocked with the weather. And I was like, the term in the Philippines, like hubadera. I'm like a hubadera. I like to show my skin. I like to appreciate the things that I can wear because of my physique. And then when I moved to the Netherlands, I
I
looked
would
over.
agree to that. The physique to
Suddenly,
die for. Okay.
suddenly when I moved to the Netherlands, I had to wear turtlenecks, leggings. I needed to layer up, and I was like, I can't see myself anymore. So that was one tiny culture shock, but the rest was, I'm smaller, and the Dutch are like the tallest people in the world. So when I'm traveling,
Oh.
and then, for example, it's all standing, like yung mukha ko nasa may kilikili nila. Not fun. Or when I'm walking in the or I'm wa- or I'm walking in the train station, I had to always speed up my pace because natatapakan nila yung paa ko because their pace is like so,
I know. Well, it's like one
longer.
step for them. It's like five for
Exactly.
us.
Yeah, exactly. So, natutunan kong bilisan yung paglalakad ko. So, aside from that and the weather, oh my God, I really, really found it very difficult to adjust because my first ever winter here lasted like 4 or 5 months. It was still snowing in March. And at one point, imagine, like, hindi tayo sanay sa malamig. And then, first ever, I mean, the heaviest snowfall I've ever experienced was when I came here, and then naka-cancel yung mga trains eh. So imagine mo, as in parang mag-freeze na yung paa ko, nag-aantay ng train. Samantalang when I was in Singapore, madelay lang ng 3 minutes yung metro. Galit na
Yeah,
yung mga tao. But
correct.
then in the Netherlands, it's like 40 minutes nakatayo ka and walang shelter. As in, nasa labas ka lang talaga. So also, I had to buy, like, I'm vain. So I had to buy like these snow boots which look ugly, but I thought, okay, for the sake of keeping my feet warm. Um, so that's plus the language because they speak Dutch here. And then I didn't know how to drive, and then where my husband's house is our house now, I needed to know how to drive. So and damning adjustments, and also the friendliness of, I mean, the way that the Dutch people make contact is very different. Sa atin parang may calling connection ka lang, parang, alam mo yun, friends na kayo agad. Here, they have an expression of like a cat looking from the top of the tree. So before they really warm up to you, it would take 6 months. So building a relationship really, really
It's a
took
long
time.
while.
Super. So, sobrang grabe yung adjustment and really confrontational in terms of your own values, of your comfort zone. And then, yung job ko din sa booking.com headquarters didn't work out because I had a conflict with my boss. So I eventually, my contract was not renewed. So I was like in a strange country with not a lot of friends, the longest winter, not speaking a lot of Dutch, not very mobile, and I didn't have a job. Suffering. Oh my God. So yeah,
It,
challenge.
it, oh, wow, it was the perfect, let's say, disaster.
Yes, it was one of the first experiences that I felt like I was in rock bottom because I was also depressed at one point because I didn't work out and I'm used to getting things my way, and then my identity was also tied to my job. So when I wasn't able to make it work, I took it very personally against myself. So I also fell into depression. Um, which was really tough also because syempre the weather plus not you having your family around, and then also when I finally decided to look for a job, like for 6 months I looked for a job, sent so many applications, only one company ever invited me for an interview. So I just really felt like they don't want me here.
Oh my god, I can just just listening to you, I can already imagine what it felt like because it's already a bad thing being in your own country with like without a job, but being in another country without a job and the weather. and all the things that you got used to, you can't do it. It's like, oh my goodness. I mean, just imagining the winter for 5 months, I cannot. My heart. I'm gonna have mini heart attacks every single day for 5 months. If that is the case.
Yeah, and yeah, exactly. It was really difficult, and the language was a barrier for sure here, because at least in Singapore everybody spoke English, and then here, first of all, my job opportunities were already limited because I didn't speak fluent Dutch. So I had to accept the fact that, it's funny. Back in school, I always, one of the highest marks that I would get would be in English, and then suddenly I can't get employed because of language. I was like
Yeah,
frustrated,
I
frustrated.
I feel you. I feel you. I mean, in one of the countries that I went to, yeah, English is always something close to my heart. Like I can totally relate to you. So English is one of those closest to my heart. In fact, I was an English major when I graduated from college. But then again, when I was deployed in a country where English is not necessarily spoken by anyone, and I had an interpreter with me all the time because I cannot speak their language, and even the signages were actually in another language. I was like, this is so frustrating because just asking for water is so challenging, and during that time, I didn't I didn't have an app for translating, so I was always dependent on my interpreter to just to just talk for me, order for me, do something for me, like basically do everything for me that needs communicating. So I totally feel you. It's like this is like a throwback to that moment. So anyway, before we proceed, let me just say hi to um and so Char, we were able to greet you. Mike, you're there. Hi. And she watching with a smile, an inspiring day watching this. Sir, one of my students watching from Ilocos, Slovakia. Sir Aquino, thank you so much for tuning in. Magandang buhay, ma'am. Pa-shoutout sa Sarat Fire Station. God bless. Yan. Thank you, sir, for watching. Eileen, nice one. Gorgeous Ariane Hoekstra. Proud Bicolana. Yan. Thank you.
Hi,
Thank you.
I.
Sir Sangla is also Bicolano. Thank you, sir, for watching. Maray na banggi po sa Indugabos. Ma'am Jazz, thank you so much for watching. One of our constant supporters as well. Ayan. Sir June, thank you so much. And Vanessa, hi, you're there. Thank you for watching.
Hi,
Ayan.
Vanessa.
Okay, so this is like a reunion.
Yeah, I
Okay, so
know.
so please just join the conversation. Just say whatever you want to say for as long as it's connected to what we're talking about. Feel free to post or chime in or whatever you want to say, for as long as they're acceptable by Facebook. Okay, so from John Mark and Daya, go
Hi,
Ariane. Okay.
JM.
Okay, so another question that I have for you tonight is, what were the things that you learned that you would have never learned if you did not migrate from one country to another, aside from those that you've already said?
Aside from speaking Dutch now and learning how to
Yeah,
drive, um,
yeah.
well, it's funny. I have an anecdote because I have a basically, when you move to another country and you meet other expats, you do stay in touch with them. And for my work at Booking.com, I once went to Copenhagen, and I had dinner with a friend that I met in Singapore, but then already moved to Copenhagen. And then we were looking back at our experience, and she said, Ariane, what do you think? We spent our late 20s in Singapore. Would you have wanted it other way? I said, like, no, hell no. Because I've grown so much as a person because of the adventure that I've done and what I am also going through. And to elaborate more on that, I think that, going to a different country really, it's how do you call that? Uh, it's quite a simplification to say that it broadens your horizon. Um, but it does test a lot how strong-willed you are to overcome your fears, your insecurities, to go outside of your comfort zone, to test how resourceful you are, and also how resilient you are. Because actually, you will get confronted by things that you otherwise you may not get confronted at all if you stay in your comfort zone. So being very strong-willed and yes, resourceful and resilient. And then obviously because you then start to surround yourself with more international citizens like you, and it's really fascinating to be able to learn how to deal with different cultures, different people from all walks of life. I really, really, really enjoyed it a lot. How to self-manage when you're outside of your comfort zone, because you need to learn not to get in your way. You need to learn that actually you're the answer to your pain and you're the answer to your own problem. And that I
It's
also
so
learned that I can, and that I can also be very street smart despite the fact that I'm very academic, because I was a nerd back in college. But then because of traveling a lot and also living in two countries, it really taught me a lot on how to navigate myself and dealing with other people, and also just being a bit more like, wag kang tatanga-tanga kasi parang hindi ka manakawan, parang ganyan. Because I've been to different airports, and thank God they never pa ako nanakawan or anything, because I always look like I'm alert. And I've been in countries like I don't know shit. I don't know what they're talking about. I barely understand. But what I would do is like I would have this like a card with phrases like, how do I say? Can I have the receipt, please? Because it's a business trip. And then I would ask my Japanese colleague, can you teach me how to do that? So then when I went into the bus. And I asked the driver, can I have the receipt, please? I had to say, "Recito kudasai." So, so those kinds of things. You need to be smart, like know what your needs are, para hindi ka maloko. That.
so it's just so amazing listening to you. Okay, so also a comment from Joel. I can imagine how difficult it is to be in another country where you don't speak the language fluently and the winter is long, at least here in NC. Winter is only for about 3 months and no language adjustments except getting used to southern accent. Okay, that's so true. Hello, Sir TM. Good evening po. And Los.
Hi, Los.
Hi, Los. Human
You
giraray magtarong-tarong si Ariane after 23 years. I know, right? Nothing changed except except iba na yung outfit.
I know.
We
Most
weren't wearing school
halo-halo.
uniforms.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right. So the next one, the next question that I have for you is, of course, our topic for tonight is reinventing yourself, and it's not easy. Definitely, it's a process. It's not something that, well, you wake up one day and then you realize that, hey, I don't want to be this person anymore. I will change myself totally. Like when you woke up tomorrow, you want to do that. So no, it's actually a process. So these are the things that I want to. So these are the things. This is the main thing that I wanted to ask you tonight. How do you really reinvent yourself? And can you share some possible ways on reinventing yourself? And again, for those of you who are watching right now, please do not take this as like a step by step process, a step by step like a formula. It's not a formula. It's just some of the possible ways that our guest speaker for tonight has personally experienced and she's sharing it. So, yun yung disclaimer natin. So, isipin, ginawa ko naman, pero hindi nag-work. Okay, so there's no exact formula for this, but these are the possible ways that
Nabudol
have
ako dun.
which have been tried and tested by Ariane herself. Okay, so you can start now, Ariane.
Okay, so pwera budol. No, I'm kidding. It's just I really find the word budol so funny.
I actually had to ask what Budo means. I was like, what on earth is Budo? Why is everyone talking about this? Because, for those of you who are watching right now, I'm not a native Tagalog speaker, and so is Ariane. And so we have to learn some words which are not necessarily used in our dialect, obviously. And also, Budol is, I think, it's just a recent word. It's, language is
Yeah.
always very dynamic. So, Budol is a new word. And I had to ask everybody, what does Budol mean? Bakit ba usong-uso yung budol na to? So, hindi mo kami budol. Hindi
Nawala
mo
mo.
kami budol. Lilinawin lang natin. No? This is not like one size fits all kind of thing. So these are just some of the possible ways that you can do to reinvent yourself. So
Yes.
Kate,
So
go on.
basically I wanna first share that when I said that I reinvented myself, it was because I'm coming from a perspective that I graduated with a sociology degree. And then typically when you graduate from with that degree, you are expected to become a researcher, or be in the faculty, for example. To go into corporate is also a possibility, pero hindi siya yung direct, ang tawag dito, direct path or typical path that people go through. But because of, I needed to survive, I took on a call center job, which I was very frustrated about because I was very concerned about brain drain, not being able to apply what I studied. And then I became a team supervisor because at one point I thought, you know what, let's make the most out of my experience in the call center. Uh, I'm good with people, and then I was already very good with the subject matter, so I got promoted. But then when I went to Singapore, BPOs weren't a thing anymore so much in Singapore, and a lot of the locals already took the
Mm.
job. So to become a team supervisor also was not really very viable. So I thought to myself, you know what, how can I make it work here? And I was still supporting my family in the Philippines, so I had to find a way. So I told myself, you know what are other skills that I have? And so I actually saw an advertisement. They're looking for, it was more actually, ang tawag dito, mas maraming job offerings before in becoming a sales agent or like a sales manager, sales
Mm.
representative, in that sort. And I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna explore that, and I am gonna just do a trial if I can do it. So I just basically, I contacted some people that I knew that were in Singapore, and I asked them, so, okay, so what do you guys actually do? What skills do you need in order to become successful or good in sales? And then I kind of also did a self inventory and asked myself, okay, I think I can do that. And then basically I went onto a networking event and I met this lady, and she was informally interviewing people, and I said to her, I'm also looking for actually a sales job. And she said, sure, Ariane, we'll give it a try for 1 month. If you make your sale within that month, then I'll give you a contract. I got a sale within 1 week, so she was very pleased. She was very happy. So basically, first tip is to go try it. Go out of your comfort zone. Just try it, and basically, there are already people around you that know more about it than you do. Go ask about it. Don't be shy, and don't be shy to ask for help. Um, so that's that. But then eventually, obviously, because nga naging regional team manager ako sa Singapore, I eventually also and kept networking. And then I also asked myself, okay, I don't like sales now, but because of the sales job, I actually learned valuable skills there as well by being more persuasive, assertive, which is also needed if you want to become a team manager in a more international setting. Because obviously, um, you need to convince and you need to, how do you call it, motivate people as well. And being assertive, being more persuasive helps with that. So I got the job at booking.com, and then it was really good. But suddenly I was faced with managing a very international team. How to do that? So basically, I read a lot of books, did training, but also again, ask people, how do you manage? How do you do this? Can you give me tips? And then eventually, I was also asked to start up teams in Bangkok, in Shanghai, Tokyo, in Manila. And then again, the question, how am I going to do that? So I ask, obviously, experienced managers, ask for tips and advice. And also per culture, it's very different. So I also studied a little bit, something about that culture. What are things that I need to keep in mind when approaching them, etc., things that they
Right.
have learned from, etc. So that's that. But then I always wanted to become a trainer. I always wanted to become a trainer. It was so close to me, so close to my heart. Um, which actually, a bit of backstory, when I was still in the BPO, before I became a team supervisor, I wanted to become a trainer. But it wasn't I wasn't prepared for it yet, so I didn't get the job. But because I knew in my heart, somehow, instinctively, intuitively, alam ko na that was for me. While I was having my role in Singapore, in Booking.com, I took a postgraduate diploma. So that, again, the other tip is, the main tip is keep on learning, just for the sake of learning. Um, so I thought to myself, you know what? I'm gonna take this postgraduate diploma, because you never know. Maybe one day there will be an opportunity for me to become a trainer. Also, I learned
Yeah.
from my manager, my Hungarian manager in Booking.com, that you always need to be prepared for the next opportunity. Don't wait for an opportunity to come and then prepare for
That's
it. No,
true.
have an eye
That's
on
true.
something, have a goal, and then prepare yourself for it. So para pag nandyan na, basically, kukunin mo na lang. So that's what I
That's
did.
true.
So I was traveling for work. I was managing teams in the US, in Asia. Nagka-side team ako in the US at one point. But I was also taking classes on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Um, and then another thing was how to reinvent yourself. Keep learning. Keep going at it. Like, you know what Gandhi said, learn as if you will live forever. So aside from, I'm done now with the postgraduate diploma. No, aside from that, I was also curious with the language. So before I actually moved to the Netherlands, and I knew at some point I would move to the Netherlands, I already took some Dutch classes in Singapore. So slowly but surely, I was learning it. Pero I think the most difficult part was really translating all the things that I've been preparing for into the career switch that I made here in the Netherlands. Because I've always been a team supervisor, team manager, and then I wanted to become a trainer. And then the Netherlands is such a knowledge economy. You have something to show for. It's either your bachelor's degree or at least a
Right.
portfolio or an experience. So what did I
Mm-hmm.
do? I so the difficult part was walang sumasagot sa akin, 'di ba, sa mga applications ko. I felt utterly rejected. They don't want me here. But I thought to myself, okay, Ariane, let's give you 6 months time to apply. If you don't get a job in the Netherlands, you're gonna create your own job. So what I did is I started actually writing all my talents, all the skills that I have, and what could be the added value of those talents and skills that I have, and potentially what roles in the company can I fill. So I put that in sort of like one line, and then I ask myself, see, you're meant to become a trainer, but how? Because I don't have a portfolio. So what I did, hi John Albert, nadidistract ako sa mga comments. Hi Cheska! Yeah, very union daw. Sorry. So what I did to show for it, so one is keep learning, but also, and another thing with learning is to actually, alam mo yung parang practicum. What I did actually was, again, go outside of your comfort zone, again, go to learn, and again, network. I actually approached an ex-colleague of mine at Booking, and I actually asked him, can you make me your assistant, your training assistant, because I just want to learn how you do it. I said, you don't have to pay me, but for the next 3 months, I just need to learn how to become a trainer. He said, yeah, but Ariane, right now it's not very feasible for me, but I may have something for you, sort of like a volunteer training job in Germany. What? I'm gonna go to Germany. I didn't know anyone. I don't speak the language, but I went to Germany. So again,
Okay.
so again in that under the same umbrella or thought na go outside of your comfort zone, just learn, go do it. So basically, I went to Germany for like back and forth for a year, build my portfolio, and on the side, while I wasn't in Germany, I was investing a lot in myself, giving sort of like promotional training to companies in the Netherlands to show something for companies in the future that, see, I've done it there, I've done it there, I've done it there. And it bore fruits kasi I think I started that process in late 2012, 2013. And then in 2014, I basically, no, in 2000, late 2013, I finally landed my own paying clients, and I managed to set up my own company. And actually, that's how I finally got my lecturing job in the Amsterdam University of Applied Sciences and also University of Amsterdam, because I started there as a freelancer. But when I was in the interview, being interviewed for becoming a lecturer, it wasn't, aside from my experiences and aside from my strong knowledge of the theory, it was because I could prove to them that I have been doing trainings to the audience that I would be also giving trainings to. So so how I reinvented myself, basically, I reflected on my strengths and weaknesses. I stayed close to my authentic self. Like, okay, what makes Ariane tick? What makes Ariane want to get up in the morning? What motivates Ariane? What makes her feel passionate? And then I set a course and I explored it. So I had this general goal. I stayed flexible because obviously sometimes you plan things but then it doesn't pan out. Just stay flexible and look at where it's gonna go. And I also studied the market demands, and I checked, okay, with the marketing things that I was doing, the training portfolio that I was building. I was doing a lot of trial and errors, which one would work, which would not, and then see how it goes. So does it make sense?
That's
Feeling ko
so
ang hirap
you.
ng kwento ko.
Oh, that's so. I was like, okay, so these are some of the like books, what books would say. But when you talk about market demands, oh my God, this is a book. It's like you ought to write about this. I mean, there are a lot of people out there, especially with what happened with the pandemic, and I have been talking about this ever since last year. That I actually built my page around the thought that people might be needing motivation at this point in time, and reinventing yourself at this point in time is really important because a lot of people have lost their jobs. A lot of people have maybe closed down their businesses, and some of them lost their loved ones, not only the physical things, the material things, but also they also lost their loved ones. So there's a lot of introspection going on these days. And this, the words that you said, the things that you mentioned, these are very helpful to our audience, because who knows, diba? There are a lot of people out there who might be needing all these things, maybe not all of them at the same time, but they can definitely. Ito na naman disclaimer, baka sabihin nila scammer tayo. Okay, so maybe not all at the same time, but definitely you can pick up a thing or two from everything that Ariane has mentioned. And of course, syempre, being the being the nerdy person that I am too, so I wrote it down so that I can say it again, di ba? So go try it, kasi I really like that. We are so scared to try. I'm not sure. Again, this may be a cultural thing. This may be a generational thing. But most people are just just a human thing, that we are just so scared to try, and we are just so scared of the what if it doesn't happen. But what if it does? What if it does happen? What if you succeed? What if things work out? I mean, instead of asking yourself what if on the negative side, what if we change this? What if we change the perspective? What if it works? Right? And listening to you, like you've been rock bottom, you've been there, and there's no other way but up. I mean, if you've already reached the bottom, where else would you go? There's no way but up. So it's really something that you should do. Go try it. And also, I really like that one, go ask. And one of the books that I've read, I can't forget, I can't remember the book, but there's this thing called, you just have to ask the right questions so that you get the right answers, because you will never be able to get all the things that you want if you don't ask for it. I mean, you just ask. I mean, nothing, di ba? Wala namang mawawala, hindi mo naman kakamatay. If it doesn't happen, then it didn't
Exactly.
happen. It's not for you, right? Another thing is, this is also very common naman in I mean in Manila, networking, not yung ibang klase na networking, but networking, building relationships in different areas, not intimate relationships. Let me just correct that. Let me just emphasize that social relationships. Okay, I might be quoted in the wrong way and be put in a bad light. So social relationships, kasi diba, the more you know, the more you know, the more you learn as well. Because these are the people you can not only go ask for them for help, but you can also talk to them and ask them for their advice, or maybe you are also the one who can help them out as well. So just build networks, build social relationship. Linawin natin yan. Okay. Another thing that I picked up is keep on learning, and just ask yourself what are your added value, kasi it's also a pitfall for, especially for the younger audiences, though, especially if you're trying to find a job, and you are a fresh grad. Stop asking about your salary. Ask yourself first, what can I contribute, what value can I give to this company? Because if I'm the company and you will just ask me about your salary, then there are a lot of people I can hire who will not ask that question. Because when you are when you are asking for your salary, it's just you taking advantage of the opportunity. But when you are trying to find a job, it should be a win-win solution. It should be a sorry, win-win relationship. It's not only the company, it's not only you benefiting from the company, but also the company benefiting from you. So that should be win-win. It's You should ask yourself first, what's your added value? And also, I really like this one, reflect on your strengths and weaknesses, because it's essential. I mean, if you're trying to reinvent yourself and you're blinded with only your strengths, and you don't know what your weaknesses are, eventually your weaknesses will also be your pitfalls. So you really have to know both your strengths and your weaknesses. And sometimes, diba, it takes a lot of challenges before you actually realize what your weaknesses are. Kasi usually, di ba, we're just focused on our strengths, we're just focused on what we're really good at. Pero once while you're waiting for the train to to arrive on a winter day, you realize na, oh, ito pala, weakness ko rin pala to.
Oh,
You eventually
I need to buy
realize na,
small boots, even if they're very ugly.
di ba? So, so there are a lot of things that this is not a one-time thing, Ariane. You have to be my guest again in here. Okay, so next is what are the things or experiences that they need to invest in? Although you already mentioned a couple of things earlier about learning and stuff, but just maybe the top three things that they need to invest in when they want to reinvent themselves.
Well, I think investment in a sense that it's not necessarily, money or in the general sense. But what I would say is very, very important is to make time on your side in the sense that make sure you have the flexibility, make sure you have the time, make sure you make time, make sure you make energy, and make sure you invest your resources in the goal that you want to achieve. So because basically, reinventing yourself takes time. It's not like in a snap of a finger and then it's gonna happen for you. It doesn't happen that way. So make time on your side. Invest time also not in self-regulation, because it's really a how do you call that, it's ups and downs. It's not always rainbows, it's not always peachy. But you need to keep the wheel turning, basically.
Right,
And
right.
investing in self-regulation also that you have to tell yourself, get out of your fucking way, get out of your way, because you are your own solution. The pain that you're feeling while you can't reach your goals, you are your solution. It's not the economy. It is partly the economy, okay, but there are so many things that is not out of your control, but focus on what you can control. And think about also the reason why I say get out of your way, because you have to think about opportunity cost. It's something that I learned in Econ 101 in my university. But basically, opportunity cost is, by definition, the foregone benefit that would have been derived by an option not chosen. So if you don't take a chance, you are trading it for something else. And if you so want your goal so much, and if you so want to reinvent yourself, go for it. Yeah, I think those are the things. It's invest in yourself, make time on your side, and get out of your way. I would say those
I
are
like
my
that
top
one.
two tips.
I like that one. Get out of your way because most of the time we are missing opportunities, we are missing chances just because we constantly doubt ourselves, and we are the ones who are getting in our way. To be quite honest about it, most of the time it's not really the economy, it's not really the people around you, it's not really your job or the lack of it, it's not really the training or the lack of it, it's not really money or the lack of it, it's actually you and your mindset who's getting who are getting in your way, in your own way. You just
Yeah.
have to stop doing that. And we've mentioned this earlier, about just go and try it. I mean, always look at the positive side of things. And though it may never, I always share this anecdote, Ariane, because there's this one friend of mine who unfriended me on Facebook because she told me that I'm just annoyingly positive. Okay, she just like I was like, oh my god, is that a compliment? Because I'm gonna take that as a compliment. I mean, you know, if we don't really get anything from positive thoughts, it's worse when you have negative thoughts. So I might as well, choose the brighter side. I mean, nobody ever died from positive thinking, right? So so just, go try it. Whatever it is that you want right now. I mean, you're the only one getting in your way. And I totally agree with you, Ariane. Maybe this totally resonates with me, right? This totally resonates with me. Because at the backstage I was telling Ariane that I started doing the live streams in 2018, and it wasn't a usual. I mean, it's not consistent. No, I have been doing it like every Saturday, but most of the time I would find a lot of reasons, a million excuses not to do it. Like I'm busy, I don't have time for it, I really don't know if people are watching, I don't have topics to talk about. It's just I'm just so camera shy because you just talk to your camera because I used to do this alone. So it's like I have a million reasons, a million excuses not to do this. But finally, this happened. So, I'm the only one getting in my own way. So that totally resonated with me. And if you are not achieving what your goals, what you're aiming for, well, let us tell you this: you are getting in your own way. So stop doing it. Just go and explore, and I also constantly remind myself this: if I'm about to do something, what's the worst possible outcome? Just rejection. I mean, nobody died from rejection, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Ariane, you can see Ariane. She's very happy with her life. But she faced too many rejections. Nobody wanted you there, right? But see, she emerged from those rejections. So it's rejections are normal. It's a part of our lives, and that's maybe the worst thing that could happen if you're trying to do something. So just be ready for it. Anyway, what if it goes right? So sayang no opportunity. I don't know what sayang in English is. So sayang.
It'll be pity if you don't take opportunity. Um, and also, to add to actually, I lost my train of thoughts. But oh yeah, with the get out of your own way. Basically, it's also similar to stepping out of your comfort zone, because in order to reinvent yourself, you have to leave the familiar and explore probably an uncharted territory for you. And that's one way of also thinking about it. Step out of your comfort zone, and while you're at it, yeah, remind yourself that it could be you yourself who's making the journey harder than how it should actually be. I also
Yes.
remember the time when I wasn't fluent speaking Dutch yet, and also, um, and now I'm actually teaching as well in Dutch. So I'm a lecturer in Dutch and in English. I don't teach Dutch. I give lectures in Dutch, just to to emphasize, because a lot of
Just
people think, "Oh, you're a Dutch teacher." So like, no, I don't teach Dutch. I teach in Dutch.
in
Uh,
Dutch.
Before I
Dutch
could
is
do that,
the medium
that's
of
the medium of
communication in that
instruction. Yeah,
subject.
that's the medium of instruction. And before I could do it, I mean, that is for me the ultimate going out of your comfort zone, because it's like also everything that comes out of your mouth establishes somehow your credibility. And if you are yourself, wanting to invest in people growth and transformation, what you essentially say and how you say it is very, very vital. But that's what I want to do. And the opportunity that's presented to me is to do it in Dutch. So I had to embrace it. I had like moments where I felt such a fraud. I had moments where I'm like, yeah, but my level of Dutch is not even at par to my level of English. What am I doing? Am I even credible? Something like that. But then I suddenly realized, hang on a second. For someone who's in the Netherlands this year for 8 years, Filipino, she did not come from a rich family. Yeah, she moved there in 2012, and then for her to be in the position where she is now, she can be very proud of herself. So I had to constantly make that switch. I think maybe it took me 2 to 3 years before I could finally like internalize it. Like, you should be very proud of yourself, girl. But in the past, I was like, I'm a fraud. I'm a fraud. But yeah, I mean, I had to learn it the hard way. Get out of your own way.
Yeah, but I'm so proud of you. Just to let you know, I'm so 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 proud of
Oh,
all
thank
your
you.
journey and of all that you've achieved. You know, um I always say this to my friends. We have a lot of friends who are now distributed across the globe. So, we may not always, get in touch with each other or maybe communicate with each other or maybe talk to each other every single time. But we always say this, like, we are silently praying for everyone that that we've been friends with ever since we were kids and up until now. We always silently whisper a prayer, and also when you see pictures on Facebook or on Instagram, and then we silently say, wow, I'm so proud of this girl. And you're one of those I constantly whisper, like, I'm so proud of this girl. I'm
Oh,
so so
thank
proud of you.
you.
So yes, you're not a fraud. Just to clarify that you are not a fraud.
I
And
am
also
not
I
Google.
and also I'd like to ask, Wala, what's the subject that you teach in Dutch?
I teach organizational science. I teach intercultural communication. And what else? Because I'm a sort of like plug and play type of person because I love learning, and as long as I have affinity for the subject, then I will learn it. Also currently teaching international law and ethics. Very broad, very various, but I love it because I love learning. So I'm a nerd like that. So those are the things
So
I teach.
you
Mhm.
you teach all those in Dutch.
I
Oh
teach
my
the
god.
I teach the organizational science and cultural intelligence in Dutch. The international law, thank God, is in English because that's way technical to teach in Dutch. So yeah.
Yeah, okay. Okay, I might want to be, to be sitting in your class and just listen in and maybe ask a question. Is that even possible? So anyway, I'm just talking to myself and letting you hear my thoughts. Okay. So my last question for tonight, and though I really don't like to end this conversation, I'll definitely invite you again because I have so many questions for you. But let me just end this conversation by asking you this question about what is your main advice or maybe top three advice on people who want to reinvent themselves, especially those who wish to shift from one career to another, because it's not easy, as in totally, like, it's like a 360-degree shift from what you're currently doing. So yun, ano yung pwede mong advice sa mga taong lalong-lalo na sa people who wanna shift careers?
I would say get in touch with yourself. So reflect on your strengths and weaknesses. Find out what your transferable skills are, and zoom into that and ask yourself, hey, what does the current market need? Where can I add value? And based on that, create your steps. Okay, if that's potentially where I can create value, how can I get there? What are the in between steps that I need to take in order to get there? And actually do it. Follow through and see it through. So that's that. That's sort of like in big outlines, no? But then also the attitude that you have about it is as equally as important. So you will go ups and downs, and remember and tell yourself that it is normal. It is normal to feel fear. It is normal to be faced by rejection. It is normal to not want to do something because I am not familiar with that, but feel the fear and do it anyway. I sound like a slogan, but feel the fear and do it anyway. Step out of your comfort zone. And finally, maybe I would want to leave uh, the listeners or watchers that there are three things that I think about when I am feeling very anxious about something that I'm doing. First of all, I ask myself, what is the best possible thing that can happen? And how will I feel if that best thing would happen? And then of course you're already like, oh yeah, these are the things that could happen, and then I would feel great, etc., etc. And then okay, let's talk to the anxiety. Okay, hi anxiety, what's up? What do you want to tell me? What's the worst thing that could happen? And then of course anxiety will, hey, this. Okay, and then ask anxiety. So anxiety, how likely is it that it would happen? And then anxiety will shut up because it's in between our ears. It's in here. It's in here. So, Ja, most of all, think about what's the best thing that could possibly happen with what you want to do, and how would you feel about it?
Ayun. So, totally, totally. I was actually writing it down. So I was like looking at you and trying to write. Also, I'll definitely do a replay of this and watch this all over again because I think this is also one of the streams that I was really looking forward to because again, as I mentioned earlier, it totally resonated with me. And to those of you who actually felt like you needed more, you needed to internalize what Ariane has been mentioning earlier on, you can definitely watch this video all over again and take down notes. The tita in me, you know, yung generation natin, we always take down notes. I'm not sure with the younger generations because just for um just for a background, we have younger audiences in this page. So we have younger ladies in this page, and I also have wide ranging audience. But I really would like to reach out to more women because I'm all for women empowerment, and I know you are too. So we really want to inspire more women, and not only women, everyone. Just inspire everyone to just break the barrier, to just get out of your way, and to just reinvent yourself. There's okay. One of the things kasi that I usually hear about, I usually hear from people is that I'm old. I'm old. It's too late for me. Well, let me tell you this, Ariane. Let me ask you: is it too late? If I'm 40s, 50s, can I still reinvent myself? You know?
It's never too late. Only you can determine how late it is, because the effort and the time, the energy, it's all going to be coming from you. So, but of course, you have to be realistic, because obviously, if you don't have the strength for it anymore, I mean,
Smart goals. The smart goals, right? One of
yeah,
the
the
in the
smart
smart
goal.
goals, R stands for realistic, so it should be realistic. Okay,
Yeah,
so
but
para
also
hindi
I
nyo
need
naman
to,
kami tawaging budol.
yes, but also I
Sabi niya,
mean,
it's never too late.
what an inspiration, right? If you have the resources, go for it. If you have the energy, go for it. If you have the money for it, go for it. If you have the time for it, you have nothing to lose. You only have one life, and yeah,
Yeah, you have to live
what's
it.
the best thing that could
Okay, so
happen?
thanks for the tips and advice. I can now start my journey as a future fitness instructor if I can find nice workout outfit that will fit.
Yeah,
That's so cool.
that's our inside joke, because yeah, Joel always watches my videos, and he's like, your workout outfits.
All right. So, okay, so naging chat box yung message box natin. Ang daming nagchichikahan sa chat box. Okay, from Master D, me and the Filipinos in Netherlands are very proud of you, Ariane. Okay, so
Hi.
ayan, I think this is Donna. Donna, is that you, Maestra D? I'm not sure. So I'm just randomly guessing.
Yeah, I
Okay,
also
Ches,
know.
Cheska, Mike, kumusta naman pagchichismisan nyo dyan sa chat box? What's the best thing that can happen. Correct. Okay, hi, what's up? Ayan, binabalikan ko yung mga... Okay, Filipinos in the Netherlands should be very proud of you, Ariane.
Thanks,
Ay, Ariane,
Chi.
anong oras na dyan? Same level ang energy nito. Okay, and yes, it's Donna. So, hi, Donna. Thank you so much for watching. Ayan, we're fine. We love you guys. Thank you so much. Okay, maybe I should be doing a live stream and invite our classmates so that we can have a live
A
conversation
live
instead of using
reunion.
a live reunion instead of using the chat box for kumusta. We can probably have a conversation. Okay, so everyone, thank you so much for watching, and I learned so much from Ariane. I hope everyone did. And again, as I've mentioned earlier on, there is no such thing as a perfect formula for anything, for success, for failures, for inventing yourself. There are so many formulas that you can use, but it's really up to you what you really want to do and what you really, what your criteria are. Tama ba yung English ko? Criterias ba? May S. What your
Criteria. Criteria.
criteria
Because
lang kasi criterion, di ba?
the
Okay,
singular
so
is
what your,
criterion.
ayun. So, what, sorry, English people here. Okay, so it's really up to you what your criteria are for success. It's really up to you to build yourself up. And please do not pull yourself down. Because most of the time, people are just there. People will say whatever they want to say. That's true. And again, we cannot control what other people's opinions are of us. It doesn't matter actually. So whatever it is, whether it's from your friends, from your family, from your colleagues, doesn't matter. What you really have to focus on is what you can do for yourself and what you really want to do for yourself, because at the end of the day, at the end of this life, it's really the question of, did I really did I really do that for myself, or did I do it for everybody else? Or the successes and failures is really a part of life, and we really have to accept that whatever we do, it's really we are always the recipient of our action. So sana maganda yung actions na gagawin natin, right? So again, thank you so much, Ariane, and thank you so much to all of our friends who supported our talk for tonight, our live stream. We'll definitely be having another conversation once again with Ariane. Hopefully, she can accommodate us in her schedule. And also, thank you, Ayan, may message pa. Thank you for this live stream, and kudos for organizing it. It was seamless, simple, yet enriching to us spoken women. Thank you. Thank you, Chi. Thank you so much for watching. And also, every single night, I would just like to plug this now. I would just like to promote this. Every single night, we have different topics, we have different themes. So, for tomorrow, my speakers haven't confirmed yet, to be quite honest about it, but definitely we will be having another speaker for tomorrow. And then for Friday, is your favorite F word, Ariane. You might also want to join the conversation every Friday. So our Friday theme is your favorite F word. So I really like where this conversation is going, but we are wholesome. Okay, so on Friday we are going to be talking about finance. So your favorite F word, finance, F. Okay, so also on Saturday is another Servicio Sabado. Ayun, pinopromote ko na lahat kasi nga, some people don't really like to be watching every single night. But just in case you want a safe space, you just want some good conversations that you can join every 8 p.m. Manila time. I have to emphasize because Ariane is actually in the Netherlands, so we have different time zones. So every 8 p.m. Manila time, we we have different conversations going on. So para break din sa social media, Arian, kasi there are a lot of negative news. So para maiba lang, may good vibes
Yes.
every 8 p.m. Manila time. And again, this is Irene. Arya, do you have any other words to say for our guests?
Just thank you so much, especially to those that I've invited and actually, watched and supported. Thank you. And thank you, Ice, for this opportunity to share my experience. I love sharing knowledge, and this has been fun and great and a very, very good way of spending my Wednesday afternoon. So thank you.
Thank you, Ariane. And again, I'm so proud of you. I'm silently congratulating you every single time that you post anything on Facebook, whether it's fitness or your achievements at work or your personal achievements or your personal milestones. I'm so proud of you and congratulations on your journey. And we are really happy that to have you tonight. And definitely we have learned so much from you. And again, to those of you who would like to watch the replay, lahat naman ng videos natin are available for replay. So, feel free to watch again and, have another, di ba, have another look or have another glimpse of what we talked about tonight. Thank you so much, everyone. Stay safe, stay healthy, and God bless you all. I'll see you again tomorrow night at 8 p.m. Bye. Thank you. Ariane, thank you.
Bye.